What's up, Daily Dosers? Nate Tibbs here, campus pastor at the Rancho Bernardo campus. Stoked to be with you. Because of the gospel, I am known. Or to get more personal with it, let me hit you with this. Because of the gospel, I know that I am known. And it's because of how I was brought up. One of my earliest memories, growing up in a family of six, 3 boys, 1 girl, rambunctious house. We had energy for days. We were always bouncing off the walls. My mom had this life hack. She had this trick of calming us down. After bath time, she would get our footy jammies, and she would sing the Lord's Prayer over us. And I don't know what it was. It had to be the presence of God. But we, all 4 of us, we lights out. I mean, we just felt comforted by this prayer that was being sung over us. And it wasn't that my mom had this amazing voice, much better than mine, but it was just something about the Lord's Prayer being sung and just putting us in our place, knowing that we're not alone. We didn't have to fear the dark or the boogeyman because God was with us. He knows us and He loves us. You know, fast forward to now, I've been married to my wife for almost 15 years, and we have 3 boys in our house. It's energy for days with all 3 of them. They're bouncing off the wall. So when it comes to bath time, we get the footy jammies on. And I just try to do what my mom did because it worked. I try to sing over them. I tried singing the Lord's Prayer one time. It was not good. So I kicked it back old school. Now I just sing Jesus loves me. Jesus loves me, for this I know. Why? Because the Bible tells me so. Trying to instill that gospel truth in my boys so that they won't depart from it as they grow up. And who knows, they might sing to their kids one day too. Fast forward to junior high, 6th or 7th grade. There was this incident that happened. Growing up in the Christian church and growing up in a family that was very supportive, I've always believed that I am known, that I know that I'm known, I know that I'm loved. I got a creator who created me. He didn't make a mistake. And I've always just hung my hat on that. But this one incident in junior high really threatened the truth of that. I found myself in a line of about 20 kids, some my friends, some I didn't know. And it was football time. We're going to play some pickup football. And there was 2 captains, the most popular kids, that were going to select who was on their team. You been in that situation before? Yeah, not cool, right? Unless you're the cool kid. So it wasn't the first pick. It wasn't the second pick. I would be the 3rd, right? It wasn't the 3rd. About the 15th, I was finally picked. And I realized not being known, man, it sucks. These 2 captains, they didn't pick me because of my athletic ability or lack thereof. They didn't know me. I wasn't their friends. They picked all their friends first. And I walked away from that, not scarred, but just questioning, God, what is this? And I think it was at that moment I really started to own my own faith. And I want to take you to Psalms 139. I just want to read you a couple verses because Jesus sees you and He knows you. And you can know without a shadow of a doubt that you are known. Psalms 139 says this, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways." And it goes on to say that this Jesus knows. He knows our words, our frame, our location, our thoughts, our days, our future, our purpose. This Creator who created you and me, He intimately knows you, and He's got us. He knit us together in our mother's womb. In fact, the word says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Check out verse 13 and 14. "You created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." Man, those 2 verses right there, now being a dad of 3 boys, just hit me in all kinds of ways that, I get emotional reading it. Because it wasn't too long ago where Katie and I found ourselves pregnant and experiencing our first miscarriage. And then we got pregnant again, and then we experienced our second miscarriage. I didn't have the opportunity to get to know my first 2 kids. I don't know if they were a boy or a girl, but I do believe in a God who knew my first 2 kiddos. And they're in heaven right now. And I will have an opportunity to know them. What about you? Do you know that the Creator of all things, King Jesus, knows you and loves you full well, and that when He thinks about you, He thinks that you're wonderful because you're His work? Let me close with this. Ben Patterson wrote the Prayer Bible, and he's the editor of it. didn't write the Bible. He wrote the paraphrase of this right here. He says this in some relation to Psalms 139. At the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, there's a sculpture of a hand by the French sculptor Auguste Rodin. Two clay figures of a man and a woman appear to be emerging out of its palm. It was one of Rodin's favorite. He called it the hand of God. Picture that hand and know this, Ben Patterson says. Before you cared one way or another, or whether you never do, God has held you by his hand. That is the message of this psalm. May you today and this week and forevermore, I pray, know that God's hand has always held you. He's always known you. You can walk in truth today, knowing that you've always been known by a God who loves you. He's got you.